As dangerously cold temperatures settle in, Clark County volunteers have opened an emergency center for the homeless.
And that Arctic air is getting closer and closer. We'll time the arrival of the bitterly cold stuff and talk about even the potential for a snowy morning commute for some.
The Kentucky Wildcats are back in action for the first time since beating Louisville. We're live at Wildcat Central on the official UK station.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. Get ready for a blast of Arctic air. It's expected to blow into the bluegrass tonight, and it could bring snow showers. You're looking live at our sky cam, which is showing Winchester Road pointed toward Hamburg. And WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking the Arctic air. And Chris, this is the warmest air we'll see for a while right now.
Yeah, it's kind of sad when you think about it. 30 degrees, that's where we are in Lexington now. That's going to be the warmest we are for the next 6-7 days at least. You can really see the beginning of the Arctic air showing up on our regional temperature map. Notice how we go from the 30s in Kentucky to 25 Covington, 16 now Indianapolis, 9 into the windy city of Chicago. That is just a preview of things to come. That big surge of Arctic air is sliding southward into the Dakotas as we speak right now. And by tomorrow morning, it is on top of central and eastern Kentucky. We've had a few snow showers still lingering in the far northeastern parts of the bluegrass state, though I'm focusing on what may come our way first thing tomorrow morning. Notice the little streak of some snow showing up into parts of Montana, Wyoming, into the Dakotas. That's a band of snow showers and squalls that will make its way right on into central and eastern Kentucky, and that may arrive just in time for the morning commute. That will usher in the Arctic air. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast. 3 o'clock in the morning, notice that snow band beginning to strengthen a little bit as it slams into parts of central and eastern Kentucky between 5 and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. That works its way onto the south, and look at the temperature tumble that shows up behind that. We go into late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Are you kidding me? We are into the single digits. So it's temperatures and the wind chill that will have the primary impact, Jennifer, though early tomorrow morning, some snow showers and squalls may cause for some tense moments for that morning commute. We'll touch more on all this when I come back in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. And the bitter cold can be dangerous, especially for people who don't have a warm place to stay. That's why Winchester has opened an emergency shelter. WKYT's Mark Barber is in Clark County with our top story at 4.
Volunteers say they've been racing against the clock and the cold to open the Beacon of Hope Emergency Center. Volunteers tell me that they have a little more painting and cleaning to do, but they say the important work is done. So the center will be a home to the homeless as the dangerously cold temperatures settle in.
This is our common area.
Michelle Bradford says they rushed to transform a former daycare on Talbot Avenue into an emergency center because many people in the area don't have a place to escape the cold.
Instead of them sleeping outside, we give them a warm bed and a hot meal.
She says when they opened a temporary shelter last winter, they had between 30 and 60 people a night, coming from as far as Powell County and Magoffin County. Bradford says, once again, it's bitterly cold, so they are opening their doors 24 hours a day to anyone who can provide a photo ID.
Everybody that comes in will receive a bag. It's got a washcloth, a towel, toothbrush.
Bradford tells us the shelter has been paid for by donations from the community. She hopes that here, in this faith-based center, people will find much more than an escape from the cold.
They think God has forgotten about them, but he hasn't.
Bradford says not only will the center offer warm beds and warm meals, they will also offer GED classes soon, as well as classes on how to fill out a resume. I'm told that the center is also working to bring in counselors who will help people who are staying here break free of drug and alcohol addictions. In Winchester, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The shelter is hosting an open house from 5 to 8 tonight. For information on how to find the center and how to donate, go to WKYT.com and click on this story. And remember, you can help us track the winter weather. Send us your eyewitness pictures using the hashtag WKYTRulesWinter. Police have arrested a 4th person in the murder of a Winchester woman. 19-year-old Christopher Robinson was arrested around noon today and charged with murder and first-degree burglary. Just 2 days before Christmas, police say 19-year-old Amber Caudle was hit by a stray bullet fired from an apartment above hers. Robinson was injured during the shootout. He's been in the hospital until today when he was arrested. 18-year-old Aaron Staley and Lamont Wilkerson are also charged with murder. Lillian Barnett is charged with complicity to murder. After more than a week without a game, the top-ranked Kentucky Wildcats are back in action tonight. They open Southeastern Conference play against Mississippi. Rob Bromley is at Wildcat Central with a preview. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Jennifer, and welcome back into Wildcat Central. Finally, it's been a long time since the Cats have played a game in Rupp Arena, all the way back to the North Carolina game, but they are back home tonight. SEC play starts against the Ole Miss Rebels, and Kentucky will be a heavy favorite. The Cats have steamrolled their way to a 13-0 record in the #1 ranking. John Calipari predicted yesterday that Ole Miss will shoot 25 threes in this game, and his team better be ready.
They're shooting 25, and they are shooting them. And their three guards are their leading scorers. Their three guards take more than 50% of their shots. They offensive rebound 13, 14 a game. They're going to play a zone where they're changing defenses. It could confuse us. And if they're making shots, you know, we got to try to drive them off the three-point line. But when you're playing teams that are willing to shoot that many, you just don't know.
So the SEC gets started against Ole Miss. It'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off on the SEC network. Come down and see us here at Wildcat Central. You can pick up a free collectible for tonight's game. They are at the Kentucky branded store right next door to us. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Jennifer, the SEC not getting a lot of respect. John Calipari says it's good. It's better than everybody thinks. I'll have that at 5. For now, that's it from here at Wildcat Central. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Rob. Also today, forward Alex Poitras is having knee surgery. He tore his ACL last month during practice and is out for the rest of the season. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. A woman accused in a 3-year-old's death made her first court appearance this morning. Shiloh Rayleigh is charged with murder in Boyle County. Rayleigh's step-granddaughter, Alexa, died in June from blunt force trauma to her abdomen. Shiloh Rayleigh's attorney entered a not guilty plea on her behalf. A judge set her bond at $1 million. She'll be back in court on February 3rd. Volunteers will brave the frigid weather tonight to make sure people in need have a warm place to stay. The Catholic Action Center in Lexington will begin the Compassionate Caravan about 8 o'clock tonight. They'll give the homeless rides to shelters in Lexington and in Georgetown. You'll hear from organizers and volunteers coming up on WKYT News at 6 o'clock. And that's a quick look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Now to a story making headlines across the nation at 4. Today's the first day of the newly elected Congress. Republicans have control of both houses for the first time since 2006, and there is already tension mounting, both within the party and between Congress and the White House. Martha Shade has the details.
The Honorable John A. Boehner of the state of Ohio, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Congress's new class has been in power for a single day, and House Speaker John Boehner has already had to stave off a power struggle. Boehner and his allies scrambled Tuesday to lock down support for his re-election as Speaker, while a small group of conservative lawmakers attempted to unseat him. Boehner addressed them in his victory speech.
As Speaker, all I ask and frankly expect is that we disagree without being disagreeable.
Florida Representative Ted Yoho and Texas Representative Louis Gohmert were Boehner's Republican challengers. Prior to the vote, Yoho said it would come down to whether or not the Republican Party wants to head in a new direction.
You've seen a groundswell, a grassroots movement of people saying, you know what, I appreciate you offering us an alternative because I'm tired of the status quo. This is a vote against the status quo.
Yoho and Gohmert received a combined 5 votes. Though Boehner managed to hang on to his Speaker title, this latest attempt at a coup could shake confidence in his leadership throughout both chambers of Congress. Another expected hurdle for Boehner and the Republican-controlled Congress, trying to get approval for the Keystone Pipeline connecting Canada and the U.S. The White House has already said if the bill passes, President Obama will use his veto power.
We indicated that the president would veto similar legislation that was being considered by the previous Congress, and our position on this hasn't changed.
I'm Martha Shade reporting.
Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell was sworn in as the new Senate Majority Leader today. President Barack Obama is expected to meet with the congressional leaders at the White House early next week.